Milestone episode this week, guys. Episode 30. Arthur, George, welcome back.
3-0. Wow, that's
Big 3-0.
30. My God.
Is that a scoreline or is that our episode?
I never thought we'll make one. 30.
30.
Hey guys, how are you?
Welcome to the pod.
Yeah, how good is it? Rugby league.
A weekend? Awesome. Missed it.
How good was the rugby league?
It was good.
It was fantastic. I
How
think it was the
good was
highest.
the game?
Wasn't it the highest rating weekend
time.
of all time?
Of all time on
Wow.
both platforms. So it was great, but it deserved every viewer because it was. I can't believe it was round one.
Yeah.
It was round one.
Round
and it
one.
was like watching, round 15.
And
Yeah,
it was a
so good.
record
Quality was
highest. So it was the highest rating, was it?
Yeah, it was definitely. It was
Highest
the highest
rating.
rating on Foxtel and on Channel 9. So collectively, I think it was over 350,000.
Wow.
So yes,
Pretty
yes.
damn good.
Yeah, so there you go. But you know what? Worth every view, worth every eye on it.
Yeah.
Like I keep on saying, I got my personality back now.
Yeah, that's
I've got
it,
something
mate.
to talk about.
Yeah, we saw some good tries, some big hits. It was a great weekend.
I think there's only one way to kick this off. How about those Dolphins?
Oh, fins up,
How about
fins
that?
up.
Did anyone get that tip
Wow.
right?
No,
Nah,
no one did.
No.
No one would have.
fantastic effort. That was brilliant. And would you expect anything else? A Wayne Bennett coach team to sort
Just
of
typical.
yeah, it's just you just knew.
I thought the Roosters were surprisingly poor. Though.
Very, yeah. And last year they did the same. They started poorly. I think the year before that. So they don't start the season well, do they?
Eventual winners are notorious for starting badly.
Yeah. Well, you know what?
That's true.
Wayne Bennett has got this innate ability to get a bunch of guys up for one game. And he's got a very, very, very simple game plan, but it's so simple, it actually works. And all
Yeah.
you have to do is pour through the middle.
He
know
makes
what I
them believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He makes them believe.
He makes, well, that's what exactly does, I've heard, that he makes you believe in your ability.
Yeah.
So he's not doing anything more or less, or he's not asking you to do anything more or less that you can do. Just do it well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the challenge, of course, is round 2, round 3, round 4, round 5, round
Yeah.
6, round 7.
It hasn't changed my outlook on what I think their season will be, but
Yeah.
gee, it was a great way to start.
Oh,
Really
you know,
was.
and some old friends of ours, Adi, the Kafusi man, but he actually went low this time.
Yeah.
How good is he? He's actually good.
He did well, mate.
All
yeah.
all the rubbish we talk about him.
The NRL role model went well.
Yeah,
Never
yeah.
been suspended. Always plays really.
And let me tell you,
clean.
Nicko and me saw the other role model, the other partner in the law
Nelson,
firm.
yeah, he's the other one.
And you know what? He was very aggressive, but he was actually very fair. He was tackling well. So, yeah, it was good. It was
Yeah.
good.
Oh, it was
One
a great
thing I wanted to talk about, George and I were at the Paramatta Melbourne game.
How was that?
It was a really good game. It was a good atmosphere. It was great. But one thing I wanted to call out, I was disappointed. I thought the Eels should have won the game, but they just blew it. Like, they just constantly made dumb decisions. The last 10, 15 minutes was just... anyway, we can get to that later. What I wanted to talk about was Cameron Munster. He came off before half-time with a compound fracture,
Yeah.
broken finger. The bone was sticking through the skin, right? Not only does he come back after having it strapped and taking a shot, and he hates needles, apparently. He was more afraid of the needle than the surgery that followed. He came back out and put on an absolute masterclass. For a player in that condition to come back out and do what he did, I hate the fact that it was against my team, but that's special. That's like beyond, that's just not normal.
George knows how much I love the guy. I think he's just natural. The way he plays, it's just. I bet you this guy, if he plays tennis, golf, anything, he'd be just good at it. He just looks like a naturally gifted player.
I mean, I would love
So
to.
good.
I would love to coach a European soccer team and sit down and show them that.
Yeah.
Next time you go flying and roll 16 times, watch this.
Yeah, he was good on the night.
It was pretty special.
Yeah,
The
and if he wasn't,
performance he put on.
Yeah.
well, if he wasn't with his hands or his legs, it was with his mouth behind the line.
Yeah.
So
He was very verbal. Like the second half, he was rallying them. He was watching him. We were watching him off the ball, and he was revving up the team. He was getting up everyone. This is a guy who half an hour ago the bone was sticking out of the skin in his finger.
How inspiring is he? He'd just inspire you. Imagine being one of his teammates. You'd just be looking at him. And he's one of the guys you want behind you in the trenches, man.
And you'll play through any kind of pain. Like, you just would.
Yeah. Well, there was one incident that on the left hand side, he drifted across. He passed it to himself. The accelerator got on the outside shoulder where that try came. Yeah, but I mean, how much pain would that be passing it to yourself, or just catching the ball?
Yeah, and tackling.
It was instinct. It was instinctive. That try that he put on, that was just instinctive. It was just all class.
Yeah.
It was all class. Got to tip my hat to the guy, because what I saw last I said Friday night, Thursday night. That was beyond what I thought.
Yeah,
that was
we can talk about the game later on, but in terms of his performance, in terms of the circumstances of the fractured finger, or the compound finger, it was outstanding. I mean, as you said, most European players would walk off.
Yeah,
soccer players, and what they have to do, and what he did, and he was the catalyst for that victory. And we'll talk about the game later. Yeah, a very special human being. Very special human being.
Speaking of performances, we had a high-profile player on the Tonight Show last week, Jerome Luluai. the camera was 2 meters away from him. And he was spraying his teammate. What did you guys make of that? I mean, for my opinion, there's nothing wrong with that, but it needs to be done in the sheds.
Yeah, but still, mate.
It needs to be done in the sheds. You don't do it when the camera's 2 meters away from you on live television, close enough to pick up the audio. You know it's there.
Yeah, but he didn't think it was going to cause this much of a hoo-ha. And it just shows passion, man. It just shows the guy's got, he just wants to win. But
you don't think it's Jerome Luluai wanting to be in the spotlight? Because he's done this over and over again.
I think we're a bit, I think we're picking on him, mate. Yeah. I saw nothing in that. I saw nothing in it. Me too.
I'm a fan, and it happens. Yeah. It happens all the time. But I think Nick might be right. He knew the camera was there.
Was that Ricky Stewart's favourite player that he was stealing off?
the weak-gutted dog.
The weak-gutted dog, yeah.
It's just that team is under pressure.
Yes.
Right? I know they shouldn't be. But the reality is they've lost two home games now to 2 full houses.
By 1 point. And they were all
2 losses, right? Second place is the first loser. I know that.
Yeah, I know.
Right? I just think you don't need to be adding further pressure onto your team that's so well known for how close they are. Publicly arguing like that should have been done in the change room, in my opinion.
I'll put a caveat to that, because I'm not going to do it in the game review because we won't have time. Okay. Think of it this way. For me, the magic is gone. The Penrith magic is gone. They've pulled them back to the field so much, and they don't get it yet. They don't understand. They still think they're world beaters. But you know when you get to an age like I am, where I look at things and my brain tells me I can do it, but physically I can't do it. Well, guess what? They can't do it anymore. Okay, they can't do it anymore. And inside of them, they know that it's true and they can't do it. Now, wait a minute. Are they going to make the 4? Absolutely. Can they win the comp? I say no, but in a good run, yes. So they're a very good team. But last year they were the best rugby league team in the world, and I suggest by far. Well, guess what? They're just a normal, good rugby league team, probably not the best rugby league team in this competition. That's my view.
Mate, I think people are forgetting how dominant they were last year. Last year, I think from the start, we all knew they were going to win the comp, and I felt they did it easily. I think now they're just going to actually
have to work for it
a bit more, and they will, and they'll get back to their high standards again. I wouldn't be writing them off.
But that's exactly my point. Now they have to work even harder.
Exactly, yeah.
Because after this incident, every team is going to lift against them, and it started with Latrell Mitchell coming out and saying there's cracks in the windscreen.
Yeah.
This unified group and everything. Now that that's happened, there are cracks, right? Because it's happening in public now.
There's cracks.
And now every team that plays against them starting to believe, you know what? This isn't the same Penrith team anymore. You're making life harder for yourself by doing that.
I think we're underestimating how good Brisbane were. I thought Brisbane were fantastic.
Yeah, they were.
They were very good.
Outstanding.
And I honestly saw a change in Penrith when that young kid came on, Lukey, the hooker.
Yep.
He made a difference. I thought once he came on,
well, didn't
He did.
Yeah.
He set up a try. He just looked a bit more zippy, a bit more of Coruscant. So once he gets more games under the belt, you'll see a big difference
It'll
in
be a
Penrith.
doozy tomorrow night.
It will be, but I think Brisbane just played out of their skin, and whoever played Brisbane that night, they probably would have lost as well.
Yeah.
The only issue is this. Okay, we got a St Helens team came over who gutsed it out over them. Okay, then we had Brisbane didn't outplay them, gutsed it out. Okay, then we're going to have a South Sydney team tomorrow who's going to guts it out against them. Then all of a sudden, you know how they think they're invincible? They don't believe that anymore. In the back of their brain, because they were the best rugby league team, or a boxer's the best boxer because he believes. He might not be, but he believes he's the best. Nick, tell us about your favourite boxer of all time.
Tyson.
He believed he was the best.
Yeah.
What did he say? Everybody's got a plan until you get punched.
Until they get punched in the face.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? They've been punched in the face. Okay, so it's rugby league is not only X's and O's. It's what's between your ears.
Yeah.
Tomorrow night will be a big.
Tomorrow will tell us a
If
story.
they lose tomorrow night,
Yes.
3 games at home
Yes.
in front of a sold out crowd,
Yeah. I agree.
then there's a problem.
But you're going to compare Penrith to we had Roosters as winning the comp next year, right? Or this year.
And
They were terrible at the start. Why aren't we talking this about the Roosters?
will.
You know what I mean? I think the Panthers.
Because Penrith have won 2 grand finals in a row.
And they will get there again. I thought that was Edwards' first game. He didn't play against St Helens.
And he was good.
And he was good.
He was very good.
He's always
his
good.
first game
I don't think
back.
I've seen him have a bad game.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, he's
They
very
missed him. Like I said, man, I wouldn't be writing Penrith off. I still reckon they're a top 4.
Well, don't get me wrong here. Are they a good team? Yes.
Yeah,
Are they a
absolutely.
top 4 team? Yes. Can they win the comp? I have my doubts. They don't. Okay. Are they that team that best rugby league team in the world? No.
You know what it is? This time, last year they were beating teams, not playing their best football. They were still winning.
Yeah.
This year they actually have to play their best football every week to win, and they'll do it, man. They'll get into the groove and win.
We'll see how they go in the mid-season Intertoto Cup final against the West Mumbai Pigeons. We'll see how that rolls.
The Fijians are coming up. I'll tell you what, and that leads to another discussion about the salary cap. And that's my biggest bugbear. Okay, so once again, do we drag the best down so all the rest can catch up, or do the rest try to improve? And guess what? We're robbed. You, me, we're all robbed.
Yeah.
Because we're not seeing teams improving. Oh, they are, because they grab half of Penrith's teams, players and youngsters, and they improve. Yeah, for sure, they improve when you get quality players like that. So, I've got my view on that, but
Look how you feel about that, right? Imagine the Penrith fans, how they feel. Like their team's getting gutted. So it'd be awful, wouldn't it?
Penrith,
Like you've got a great side, and all of a sudden,
Penrith
because of the
fans,
salary cap, we can't keep
Penrith
him, we can't keep him.
Penrith players.
I wouldn't be whinging if my team's won back-to-back premierships. I'd be happy with it.
Still,
I understand your point though, but we all know that's the price of success.
Yeah,
We know
it
that.
shouldn't be though.
I know.
Shouldn't
I know. But unfortunately, in a situation where the clubs can't financially stand alone, if it's a free for all, there has to be a salary cap.
Well, the question there is this: there's got to be a salary cap because the league gives them all the money for the cap.
Yeah.
So if it was free for all, the league doesn't give them money. They've got to find 12, 24, $32 million.
But a few of the clubs can, I think.
Well, probably half can.
Yeah.
Okay. And then the other half, the argument is the other half can't. But what the other half should do is put transfer fees on youngsters. Okay.
Yeah.
Them going and pouring money into youngsters and selling them, or the European model.
Yeah.
Because don't forget, with what you're saying, if there was no cap, it'd be open slather on the third parties as well. And the clubs can facilitate those deals left and right.
Third parties,
Whereas at the moment they can't.
the third parties is another question, and I'm going to allude to Roosters. Damn, not under the cap. Legally they are, but you know what? I can see third parties coming out
We're
of
going
everybody.
back to the well.
Anyway, no,
Yeah.
let's go. Let's move on,
Okay,
Nicko,
so-
because we'll be here for hours.
Let's talk about some signing news. David Fafita's re-signed with the Gold Coast Titans for a further 3 years on a $2.4 million deal.
Good on him.
He reports he was going close to Canberra. Brisbane were chasing hard. What do you guys think? He's been disappointing in the last couple of years, but what do you think?
The first game I saw, I think Foz has unlocked him. It's a shame. It's a damn shame he got injured. And
How serious is it? Do you know?
4 weeks, I think.
Okay, that's not too bad.
Yeah, 4 weeks.
That's not too bad considering it's Foz.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
the risk you take getting Foz on your team, though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but did you see the
He
difference?
loves the sick bay visits.
Yeah, well, he loves sick pay. Actually loves nurses. But did you see the difference in them? Did you see the difference in Fafita?
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
they swung Foz on Fafita's side, and she made the world a difference because all Fafita has to do is run a line, and Foz does the rest. So no, look, it's a good thing. It's good. It's good, and he could repay back the club by giving him 1.2 now, giving him sort of market value. So good on him. Good
So
on him.
interesting dilemma. I don't know if you'd call it a dilemma at the Roosters. Joseph Suwali has committed for a further 12 months till the end of next season, 2024. So that's a short-term commitment. Does that mean that the door's open for him to switch over to rugby after that?
With the World Cups on the
Yeah, well, that's one thing.
Because it's a bit odd, isn't it, that a 21-year-old would commit for a further 12 months?
He had an option on his he had options on his contract for another year.
So he's just taken that option
Yeah,
up.
so-
Is that what that is?
Yeah, so what happened was Nick Politis didn't want the bullshit, so he goes, "You signing or let's sort it out now. Sign here or go. Your
Yeah.
choice." So he forced his hand. He's forced.
Well,
the
he hasn't
manager's
signed
hand.
yet.
Oh, okay, it was reported he signed, but
No, I mean, he's taken the option.
the option, yeah,
Yeah, but
Yeah.
beyond next season
yes.
is
So,
unclear.
so what Nick's done is bought the club another year so they can sort out the other bits and pieces. You know what I mean? It's interesting to see that some big names are off contract, at that
Including
time.
Tedesco.
Well, Tedesco's off in 25.
Yeah.
And apparently his manager now has gone up to the Roosters and he's asking for extensions now from
Okay.
25
So
onwards.
from what I read today, Tedesco's off contract at the end of next year, asked for a 12-month extension to the end of 25, if I'm right.
Okay, good.
I
Which
thought
the
more. I
club's
thought he wanted
balking
a couple
at.
of years. Yeah.
Walking at it.
Yeah, because they might be wanting to lock in Suwali long
Yeah,
term. Tedesco
Suwali.
is going to be 32 or 33.
Yeah, but what he's done and for the club, I'll gladly give him another season.
But that's the Roosters. That's what people keep missing, right?
Yeah.
They had Minicello.
Yeah.
Then they got Tavasa Shek.
Yeah.
Then they got Tedesco. Mate, they're not dumb. They know Suwali. If Suwali performs another good year next year, that's why they're waiting. If he performs on, they're going to say, Teddy, I love your service.
I think we're
See you
going to
later,
see
buddy."
Teddy back in a Tigers jersey to close off his
Yeah.
career.
Maybe.
Look, well, Tigers are not Tigers. The Roosters are a ruthless club, and they get their signings pretty right. So, look, I wouldn't be surprised.
Look, in other news, at the Dragons, Amoni's been cleared to play. Artie,
Yes,
you want to
he's
shed some light on this one?
He has, mate. Previously he had a charge that was for 14 years, maximum term. Now it's been downgraded. Now he's going to be fighting in the local courts. And now it's a maximum term of 5 years. So under the stand-down rule, he's below the 11-year threshold. Free to play. He got the clearance from the NRL.
And I think he's
and
been
he's
named
listed in the
as-
21-man
yeah.
squad.
Good.
Some whispers saying he might even sneak in. I hope not, because
Not this week.
this young Jaden kid is going. Not only is he going to be a good player, but he's been promised the starting spot, number 6. He's been named at 6, so it'd be a shame to get him out of there now and put Amoni. But
So
they won't do it.
the starter who's starting this week,
Sullivan's
supposedly-
starting. Yeah, he's been named at number 6. So, and Amoni's on number 21. So Hook can still make a last-minute change and put him into the side.
no.
If he does that, that'd be terrible. I think, in my opinion, anyway. I think it'd be bad for the kid.
Is he playing all the youngsters this week? All the youngsters that you know of?
Well, he's got Sloan and Sullivan in there. Yeah,
The
definitely.
Fingo twins?
Yeah, just one of the Fingo guys are playing.
Okay.
But it's an interesting lineup he's putting this week. We'll go through the lineups later
Yeah,
anyway.
because I've got an interesting point, and one will lead on to another when the show gets to that point.
Yeah.
Regarding the Hook and the kids. Anyway.
Look, as as a Dragons fan, my perfect spine is Sloan, and you have Amoni at 6, Sullivan at 7, and Hunt at 9, because those three kids, Sloan, Sullivan, and Amoni, have been playing all their juniors. They know their games inside out. They killed it in the juniors. They won their competitions against a good Penrith team, so they've got the quality. And Hunt is a brilliant number 9, one of the best, and he'll just unlock these three kids. But
Australian hooker.
Australian hooker. But Hook and Hunt, they've got a close relationship, and if Hunt wants to play 7, I think Hook will put him there as long as he wants. So,
personally, I think if Griffin was to include Amoni into this week's lineup, that tells me that there's a bit of undecisiveness there. Like that's
terrible.
Desperation.
Yeah.
It's a bit. I wouldn't be feeling very confident as a Dragons fan if I saw that. Whereas you look at Tim Sheens, they got off to a bad start, but he's still holding Bateman back.
Yeah,
because he said this is a 4-year deal. I'm not going to rush him in now. There's a plan in place.
Yeah.
You know,
Nick. At the end of the day, he's still charged for what he did, and what he did wasn't good. It's terrible, chasing a guy with a hammer or whatever. It's a serious crime.
Yeah.
So to put him back in the squad, it's bad discipline. I'm sorry, but
someone's
me as
going
a
to have
coach,
to drop out.
I'm saying sorry, man. You screwed up, right? You put our off season in disarray, right? Sorry, at least 4 weeks off, man. No way. I wouldn't.
I agree.
What? He doesn't get punished otherwise. It's like he's done nothing.
I agree.
So that's the discipline thing part of it.
George, you want to talk to us a little bit about the change in how Dally M's are voted upon now?
Interesting, yeah. So now we have per game 2 judges per game, Nicola. They can watch it on television. They don't have to be at the ground. So for argument's sake, Harry Grant got 2 threes from each judges. Then there's the 2 and the 1.
Yeah.
Okay. The question is, number one, I like the 2 judges because, 2 people can't get it wrong. And it makes it interesting because you could give it to Grant, I could give it to Monster. So it makes it interesting in the long run.
Yeah.
And then the other question is, it's the first time ever that they can watch it on television and don't have to be at the ground. What are you guys'
I prefer
thoughts?
that.
Yeah.
I love being at the footy.
Yeah.
And we see what we see, but we don't see replays. We don't see close-ups.
Yeah.
At least we see them from a distance, obviously on the big screen, but we don't hear the commentary. We don't know what's happening. We saw Munster go off the field with his arm in the air. Even Craig Bellamy said in the press conference he thought it was a HIA. So when you're watching it on TV, it's all right there. And I just think it's a smart move. I really do.
Yeah, agree. I absolutely agree. 2 different angles. You get to see it from one side of things and you get to see it from the other.
It could be the case of one judge is at the ground and the other one's watching on television, or both could be watching on television. But they've left that up to the individual judges. I think we'll get a better idea,
too.
yeah, and a better result. I like it. And I think that universally, everybody's come out and gave it the big green farmers.
What about this, mate? What happens if, just say, the 2 judges pick the 2 different guys for number 3, right? And then they pick the same guy as number 2. That guy gets 2 points. So the guy that gets the second best votes gets 4 in total. Those 2 get 3.
Wow. How about that?
Well, it's
How about that?
So that is a could be.
That's what I mean. It's going to be interesting.
It's the averaging out of the aggregate. That's how it's going to be calculated at the end of the day. It's a really good point, but
I like it.
Yeah,
I like it.
I do. I do.
Yeah. I like it.
If they both agree on a 3, then they both agree on a 3. But if they don't, maybe he wasn't the 3.
Yeah, no, I like it. Like I said, two different views. We'll get a better result.
So so does this mean, like with the old system, we had referees giving the points, right? Officials.
Mm-hmm.
They're not doing it?
No. When did we give it? No. We didn't have. That went back with referees. Rothman's medal all those years ago. No,
Okay.
we had independent judges from the 90s, I'm sure.
Okay, maybe I've got it wrong there.
Yeah, no, there's been independent judges.
So that's scrapped then. It's just 2 judges now. Is that right?
2 judges per game.
Okay.
Remember the argument a couple of years ago where one of the Sims girl, what's her name? The sister?
Yeah.
Anyway, she didn't even watch the game, and she watched the shorts and gave the.
Oh, really?
It's pretty sad.
Yeah.
Oh,
She
God.
watched the shorts and gave points. And that's when things changed and they shook it up. I
Is
think
that
was 2
when
years ago.
Clint Gutherson missed out to Jack Whiten?
Probably.
So the Dolphins have a documentary on Stan about how the club was
Can't wait to watch it.
conceptualized and put together and
Can't
came
wait.
to fruition. There's a Penrith documentary on
There's
Foxtel
the Penrith
as well.
one. Yep. Can't wait to watch that
And
too.
George, you brought this up weeks ago.
Yeah.
About how you think more clubs should be doing more of this, and I'm all for it. As a fan, I'd love to see I love watching other clubs'
Yeah.
documentaries. I'd love to see one on my own.
Absolutely. You know what? They want more money. Not a problem. Give them more money, but they've got to give us more access and more content. Not only the players, the clubs as well. This behind closed doors, that's gone. I mean, I watch a lot of American sports, and let me tell you, some of the ESPN documentaries they do, and some of the content that the clubs release just by themselves. And I know that some soccer teams have got their own channels. I know Liverpool's got their own channel.
They do. Man
Chelsea,
United, Chelsea,
yeah.
Arsenal. Yeah.
So they've got to give us. They've got to get into that realm of giving content. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And more content, the better. It'll engage me. And look, be it a standalone channel or be it all through Foxtel, doesn't matter. This special, the fins up one, okay, that's on Stan. That's an actual documentary.
Yeah.
So I can't wait to get my teeth into that.
Yeah, but George, when you look at it, mate, Foxtel, we've got The Fan, a show called The Fan with Vossi. We've got all these shows on Foxtel which are on weekly, which are pretty good, and the players are buying into it. You see it. So there is a lot of content on Fox when you think about it, which is pretty good.
I compare it to the American sports.
Yeah,
Okay.
fair enough.
And you know what? At the end of the day, I think the league should make it compulsory. And I'll tell you why. Because the league wants more money out of it. Because where we get the money from the broadcasters. The league wants more money. They're going to say, well, give us more content.
Yeah.
Because what's it about adding another team?
Yeah.
It's not about adding another team.
Yeah.
It's about content. It's about money, I mean. Okay?
Yeah,
We're going to have another team. What's that all about?
Yeah.
It's about getting more money out of the broadcasting deals. But look, I'd like it. I love it. I've seen some Bulldog stuff. Then behind the scenes.
Last year we had the Tigers.
Maguire.
That was pretty
thing.
good.
How good was the Maguire thing?
That was
very
awesome.
good.
Was that good?
That was awesome.
Well, imagine
Tales from
enjoyed
Tiger Town.
yeah,
exactly.
imagine every club having something similar, and complete year. Can you imagine seeing pre-season training? I mean, them killing themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
think
know.
it'd be great.
I would like it. And look, I'm a footy head, so I'll like it. But others will turn off. But hey, each to their own. I think it's great. I can't wait to get into these doggos.
Yeah.
Okay, it was time for the Sin Bin segment. And I've got it this week.
Nicola.
Something my good mate Frank Mastro asked me a question about this, and I told him that I had already looked into it, something that I wanted to talk about. Now, it just happens to be I've stumbled upon this because I'm an Eels fan, and it's about the Eels. And it makes me wonder just how many other clubs, I didn't go through the whole draw, but how many other clubs might be in a similar position. And it's about the draw, which is what the Sin Bin segment is about. So Paramatta have 3 5-day turnarounds this season, which is the equal highest. They've also got 5 Thursday night games, which the Thursday night games, it's hard to draw crowds to because, it's a weeknight, it's a school night.
True.
But my biggest gripe is that the first 5 rounds, the Eels played the Storm, the Sharks, the Seagulls, the Roosters, the Panthers. Tough draw.
Wow.
Yeah.
Tough draw.
Wow.
Not complaining about that. What I'm complaining about is that out of those first 5 games, 3 games in a row, the Eels are playing a team who has a bye the week before. So playing against the Seagulls, the Roosters and the Panthers, all the 3 of those teams have a bye the week before. So they're playing them off a week off. In the first 5 weeks of the competition, three consecutive games against the team who had the previous weekend off.
I think Eddinghausen got that wrong.
Eddinghausen and Miller, they want to be in the grand final with Penrith, not Parramatta.
I'd love to know who. Joking aside, I'd love to know who designs the draws.
And I haven't looked at the whole draw, and I haven't looked at the Broncos, but we all know for the longest time, they played at the same time every Friday night.
Yeah, Broncos.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
North Queensland.
So it's all about the ratings, and Parramatta draw big.
They
Parramatta
do,
draw
but I
big
just think to play,
viewers.
3 top 4, top 6 teams in 3 consecutive weeks,
Yeah.
coming off a bye, that's pretty tough.
Nicko, you know
in the
what?
first month of the competition, first 5 weeks.
Yeah, Nicko, you know what I found out? I heard that they go in and they pull all the games they want to pull, like the Anzac Day game and the Easter games and all those games and those traditional clashes. Okay, then they put everything through a computer and the computer spits the rest out. Now that's what I heard.
Yeah, I heard it's computer generated as well.
Yeah.
And I remember last year we saw some times where I think one team would play the other team 3 weeks later and haven't played another team until the last round.
Yeah.
And
I
you think-
understand this computer generated, but can't we have someone look it over and
Yeah,
pick out the bad eggs?
exactly. Yeah, they should.
You know what? If you don't play everybody twice,
Yeah,
It
it's
just
hard.
makes it
never-
difficult, doesn't
it's
it?
never going to be the same. It's never going to be the same.
yeah.
I noticed, and I'm getting jealous now. I noticed the soccer, the Australian soccer, they're calling applicants for the second division.
Promotion, relegation.
And I'm starting to think that Arthur was right.
Yeah.
I'm starting to think
Yeah.
that he's right.
I just thought it was a bit tough because they're all hard games.
Yeah.
And 3 of them coming off a team that's had a rest the week before.
Yeah.
That's pretty tough.
Potentially, I mean, you're going to win, 3 out of 5, 3 out of 6 there, but potentially you could lose all of them.
I know.
You could lose all of them by a point.
But then you've got an easier draw at the back end, or later on, which is beneficial as well.
Maybe.
So.
But we all know how important a good start to
Yeah.
the year is.
It is. It is important. But it's not the be all and end all. We saw Roosters last year. They had a terrible start,
Yeah.
and then they.
Yeah.
So Parramatta can do the same.
They did that by design, but Robert does that by design.
Yeah, I know.
Fan questions. I've got a couple of fan questions from Dino, our mate Dean.
Yeah, big Dino.
The first one is, what's the financial positions of each club and has their financial position been a factor in winning premierships?
Well,
So I guess what Dino's asking us is, are the richer clubs the more successful ones? Be hard to argue against it because
Yeah.
if you look at Penrith, Roosters, Melbourne, all very financially stable.
Broncos are financially stable.
That's a
and
good point.
They're not up there.
Actually, I think they're the
They're the
richest club in the
Yeah,
competition.
Exactly. Yeah.
and then the Dolphins.
Although they were in a grand final a few years ago.
You know
true.
what? I think the best run clubs
Yeah.
are the most successful ones, and then the rich clubs are successful. Now it just happens that the rich clubs are the ones that are run better. But in saying that, Nicola, you can say Bulldogs are not shy of $1, and they're battling. So
Panthers 10 years ago, they weren't anywhere in.
they were in trouble.
Yeah, exactly. So, they,
10 years ago,
I
they were
mean,
in trouble.
10 years ago, Gus was 3 years into the 5-year plan.
Yeah.
but it's all about the
It was,
juniors. All the juniors that have come through.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
basically all it is for them.
But it's fair to
It's
say.
fair to say. Yeah, it's
fair
a fair
to say.
comment,
More
yeah.
money, more chance of victory because then
Third parties.
Third parties. Roosters, third parties. I don't know if Roosters club is rich, but everything around it is rich.
Yeah.
So and they've got the best administrator in the game with Politis. So but yes, I'd say that's fair to say. And in terms of Tigers, in terms of Tiger, as long as West Leagues Club exists, they got money.
Isn't it ironic that when that merger, and actually that leads into Dean's second question is, what's the status of the Western Suburbs Magpies, Balmain Tigers amalgamation, the merger? Dean's a diehard Tigers fan, and it's ironic that when the clubs first got together, the perception was that West were the faction that was struggling and the Tigers were financially holding them out. Well, it ended up being the other way around.
Yeah,
The Tigers are basically defunct.
defunct.
And West, if they wanted to, could actually revert back
Yeah.
but to Western Suburbs Magpies, but they won't because they have a whole new generation of fans now from the last 23 years, and they're not going to change that. But what I think is interesting is that the juniors, and Arthur, I'm curious about the Dragons because I'm not
Exactly,
sure,
yeah.
but I know that with the West Tigers, in the New South Wales Cup, You got the Western Suburbs Magpies, and is it the same as the Dragons?
Same. We've got the Illawarra Steelers, and we've got the.
I think it should be one club all the way through, from under sixes all the way up to first grade.
But 2 regions.
That's but make it one.
It's training and all that.
Yeah, but
it's only young kids, so you're going to have the kids.
Doesn't matter where they are, whether they're in Wollongong or whether they're in Cogra. They should be wearing St George Illawarra Dragons.
Yeah, it should, man. But it's good because they both feed into the main ones. So
but as high as New South Wales Cup.
Yeah.
So first grade's the only merger.
That's right. Yeah.
One club, one culture, one bloodline, one way of thinking.
Yeah, no, I agree. When you put it that way,
that's my opinion.
No, I agree. I agree. It sounds crazy. Western Suburbs, Magpies, and Balmain Tigers, and St George. Illawarra there.
The 2 merge clubs, man, they're both struggling. Think about it. If you look at the ladder, I don't know. It's been terrible.
Well, it's the board. Remember, strong boards.
That's the thing. The main issue that both clubs are facing are the boards.
Because they both got kids. They both got youngsters. One's got all of Campbelltown and beyond, and you've got all of Illawarra basically.
And George said it before. It's the best run clubs that are leading the comp, and ours, Wests and St George, are just the worst run at the moment. Yeah. It's a mockery. Those 2 boards. I don't know what's happening there.
Well, I hope that answers it for you, Dino. And you know what? Let's talk some footy.
I'll share your pain. I've got a couple of spam questions.
Before we get into the spam questions, I got some phone calls during the week. Some Chip and Chase supporters that didn't realise we were doing the quick hands, and they're jumping on board this week.
Okay.
So shout out to them. I told them I'd give them a shout out.
That's it.
So there goes some more numbers. So yeah. And we're on socials these days. I can see cameras everywhere here, lights, and there's
TikTok, Instagram, YouTube,
everything. Yep. And Nicko, we got a brand new star in the room. We got a new movie star. They don't call him George George Clooney for nothing.
Oh yeah.
So we've got a brand new superstar. So as Nicola said, we're on all the platforms. So have a look.
We should have wore kiss mask, man, so no one can recognise us. It would have been better. It would have been easier. Just a few questions, man. I've got one from Jerome from Penrith. He wants to know if any of us noticed any other lazy players or tired players on the weekend.
They're all tired.
No, they're all tired,
They're
Jerome.
all tired, Jerome.
Brian, the journalist, he wants to know if one of us can ask Moses if he's made up his mind on the future. Soon.
No, he's left it with his management.
He's left it with his management, mate.
It's actually his cousin, by the way.
I wonder if he got his management to propose to his girlfriend.
Maybe it's his cousin.
On his behalf.
You know what? That really annoys me now because Moses is there for the rest of the year. Why are they bugging him from now for next year?
Who
cares? Let the kid play the year.
And he's got an option for next year.
He's got an option for next year. Leave him alone. Anyway.
And you know
Sorry,
what?
Brian, I'm not going to do that for you, man.
And you know what? We're all apparently getting the shits with Moses, and Paramatta supporters are getting the shit with Moses because I see things on socials and on radio shows. But you know what? Until you haven't got a quality halfback, okay, then you'll know how good you had it. Because guess what? All you have to do is go a little bit across town and ask the Bulldogs how they're going. So, you know what? Parramatta supporters, count your lucky stars. You've got a quality halfback.
Yeah. And the last one was James from Bondi, mate. He just wants to know if there's any NRL teams looking for a fullback in 2025. So, good old James. Don't worry, James. You'll get picked up, mate. I know you will.
I think he's got a good chance of getting picked up. I think he's got a good chance.
Balmain's looking good.
It'll be more than Balmain.
Wouldn't you love to see him back at the Tigers?
I think he'll end up there.
Hope so.
I really do.
I was hoping Woods would end up there too. That didn't happen.
Power Walker.
Yeah, you know what? A West Tiger, a real one. This one, a West Tiger supporter, good mate of mine, Billy. He sent me an email today, and he said, "Geez, I didn't realise how bad Saints are." He goes, "You got all the West rejects," and then he went through them. He went Mbai, Woods, Masala, Little. He just went through a whole lot. There's about 5 or 6 ex-Tigers players in the Dragons lineup.
Really?
Yeah, it's great. And we're talking about the merge. Which clubs are run worse? Well, I think St George took the trying to beat the West Tigers to that mantle because, mate, we're taking your rejects. So there you go.
They're doing
That's the clear indicator there. No,
They're doing
it's
well.
terrible. Anyway, we'll see what happens.
All right. What time is it? It's time to talk some footy.
Hey,
Right? Let's talk some footy.
Let's do it.
Round 1,
Yes.
review. Eels versus... Let's move on to the second game. No, I'm joking. Eels versus Storm. We were there. It was
Mate.
really exciting. Great game. Well deserved by Melbourne. I thought Para could and should have won it, but just last 10, 15 minutes, dumb decisions. 5 minutes to go. They get a tap 30 metres out. They run it out on the first tackle.
Yeah.
Just really ridiculous stuff. There was also a captain's challenge with a couple of minutes to go, which had Para have won the captain's challenge, they would have had the ball in a similar position,
Yeah.
20 to 30 metres out. And Graham Annesley, of course, comes out yesterday in his press conference and said, oh, that was a mistake. They should have won it. Well, thanks for that. Bit late now.
Yeah.
But look, Melbourne well deserved in the end, especially on the back of that performance from Munster that we talked about earlier. What are your guys' thoughts?
Can I go?
Yep.
Paramatta threw it away, basically.
Yeah.
Paramatta's got this knack of losing games, not winning a game. I'll give you one guarantee. Melbourne, you have to beat them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They won't throw it away.
Well, Para's beaten them 4 out of the last
exactly.
5 meetings before this game.
Parramatta has, yeah.
So they know how to do it, but they couldn't do it.
They couldn't do it on the night. You know what? And don't get me wrong, the 2 back rows were missing, and that was a big loss. But
Big loss.
let me tell you that Hofgood and
Hopgood.
Duran, Hofgood,
Hopgood and Dury.
they went really
They were
good.
great.
Yeah,
And if
they
you
did.
ask me, I think Dury was probably one of the best on ground. He
Yeah.
was really good.
Hopgood's numbers were outstanding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I haven't dug into the numbers, but they were really good. And even Cartwright, I'm not a fan, but I've got no problem. He was very good.
Do you think he played a different style
He
of
did.
game?
He did. And Paramatta has adjusted their style just slightly enough, because now they haven't got the edge power forward runners, and they didn't definitely have it on the night. Can I address
Hodgson.
Hodgson?
Yeah.
Sorry. Now, he's going to be good. If he's injury free, he's going to be
He had
good.
a good game.
Very good.
He's going to have to find a balance between just picking the ball up and giving service to the halves. The guy's a runner.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, see how Marnie goes to another team without a dominant half, and he's showing us things that we didn't even know he had. He was outstanding.
Your opinion.
I've never seen him. Yeah.
I've been seeing it for
Yeah,
years.
me too. I've been seeing it.
Reid Marnie.
Not.
Reid Marnie didn't drive to Belmore and learn a different style.
No,
in 3 months.
no.
I've been seeing him do it for 3 years.
No, but what I'm saying is that he realised that the 2 halves need ball in hand. They need service. Okay, sure, he scooted. Sure, he put forwards on, but not what he's doing right now. He's
Because he has to. He hasn't got the quality of Moses.
But I didn't know he had that ability.
Well, you probably haven't watched enough games.
Maybe. In terms of Hodges, he's got to get a balance of Hodgson. Sorry, he's got to get the balance of giving good, quick, early ball to his halves, knowing when to run, and knowing when to not go into dummy half, and be an actual ball player. No, but
He'll get it right.
I saw all positives. All positives there, and Melbourne. They stick to their game plan.
They did, yeah.
They just
Yeah, they were very good.
All they've
They
done.
were just Melbourne.
Yep.
It almost doesn't matter who pulls the jersey on, does it?
They
It's
stick
just
to a game.
people
plan.
leave, people step in, nothing
so fun.
changes. It's like a production line.
I think Meany's improved and
Yeah.
continues to improve. Harry is just Harry, and
Munster for me was
and
the
Monster.
absolute standout.
Look, either or. Either or. I mean, Harry kept on driving those forwards, and Monster.
Harry Grant was excellent.
Yeah,
Yeah, he was good.
and Monster. Well, without him, the game is lost.
Yeah.
So we enjoyed it.
Yeah,
It was a great opening game.
Yeah, it was a good game.
I did for the first 80 minutes anyway.
It was good. It was
Warriors 20 points to 12 over the Newcastle Knights.
fun. Yeah.
Webster, who?
Yeah.
Good start for him. 100% record there.
Very good start with him.
Better than Mr. Popular.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, and let me tell you, Webster has definitely put his stamp on
Exactly,
on that
yeah.
team.
I thought it was a great performance. I didn't see that coming, to be honest. I thought I was impressed with the defense of the Warriors because Newcastle did throw a lot at them, but they just held their line and they were just very good in defense. And that's Webster. That's not a Warriors trait they've had in the past. So
and that's where it's at.
Fantastic.
Adi. They've improved their defense, and that's not a Warriors trait.
Yeah.
So that's a Webster trait.
Exactly.
Okay. Johnston didn't overplay his hand. Okay, he's not a runner anymore.
Yep.
Okay, you know what? Hook, he knows how to pick his cattle, eh? You know, because Ford.
Yeah, he was brilliant.
He was one of the best players on the field.
He was fantastic.
We don't need him. You don't need him.
He was killing it in the juniors. He was a star, but he didn't get much game time.
Yeah, well, okay.
Going on every 5 minutes.
It's a loss to you guys and a win to the Warriors.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
outstanding.
it was great. Good to see.
I really enjoyed it, and and they deserved to win, and they played better. In terms of Newcastle, okay, they need time. I saw.
I wanted to ask you about the halves.
Yeah.
What did you make of the half pairing?
Okay. So, Toilet Boy, what's his name again?
Kalen Ponga.
Kalen Ponga. Sorry, I call him Toilet Boy. Now, Kalen Ponga, I saw good and bad. He doesn't really know how to play 6-6. So what he'll drift in and out. Now, when he was in the line and when the control freak gave him good ball, okay, he did what he had to do. He was running on shoulders and running to the line. And he's fearless, actually. He's more fearless than I thought. Okay, but he often caught himself behind the ruck as a fullback does. So he kept on going back to his
old habits.
Yeah, his old habits. So he just needs time. The issue is that they lost again.
They don't have time, do they?
They don't have time because our favourite hairdresser, Josephina had
She got some scoop.
Well, she got a scoop for us.
Oh,
wow. One of the wives said that the boys are a bit down on morale. And if they don't start winning, definitely they need time to gel and get it together. But this week could be the straw
It's just nuts. Oh, look, I get it. I totally get it.
I know.
But on another level, it's just nuts that the competition kicks off on a Thursday night. And by the time he goes to bed on Friday night, one coach is already sweating and under pressure. It's nuts.
He was sweating last year,
it's crazy.
But what I've heard is
Italian soccer. That's what it's becoming.
What I've heard at training, the morale's a little bit down of the boys, and they need a victory. And let's hope they get a victory. I don't think they will.
It's got to go to the cubicle that's got all the Scotch and bourbon and cokes because they'll keep coming out of this cubicle at that leagues club. So just go to that, have some drinks.
Yeah, they'll be fine.
It's called the cubicle, the bar that they go to.
We'll see how they fare this Sunday.
They'll be all right.
I enjoyed the game.
Bradman Best was good. I thought he was okay. Man, what's his name? Kurt Mann.
Safidi brothers.
Yeah, the Safidi brothers. They've got a great. I don't mind their squad. I think it's a great squad.
The front row of the Safidi boys.
Yeah,
they were disgraceful.
No,
yeah,
really, they were disgraceful.
Why?
The biggest. I didn't want to delve into the game. The issue with Newcastle was they weren't going forward. So Webster, who gave Warriors a very simple game plan, we bashed the front door. Okay, when they got into the washing machine, okay, the back and forward type of game, okay. That Newcastle stopped doing that. So the minute they stopped doing that, okay, and it's directly on the two Safidi boys, they had a terrible game, an absolutely terrible game, Artie. Okay, so when the washing machine didn't happen, the back and forth didn't happen. That's when the Warriors started looking $1 million. You know what I mean? So. Look, it's the first round. I'm not gonna worry about them, but the Warriors look good. They look good.
Yeah, the Warriors.
Now, how they're going to go against the top teams, we don't know. Are they going to have an improved season? Absolutely, they're going to have an improved season.
And it's just so good to see them back at home.
Yeah,
again
it is.
Sleeping in their own beds.
It is good to see Warriors. I want to see Warriors do well.
Yeah.
Panthers went down to the Broncos, like we said before, 13-12 at a sold-out Penrith Park,
Broncos
Bluebird Stadium.
They were the most impressive team to me, to be honest. The Broncos, they were exactly the same Broncos that were last year before they had that slump.
Yeah.
Carrigan was great.
It's actually kind of strange. I think they're going to carry that tag, Arthur. I think up until, like, if they're doing well, up until around the Origin period, everyone's going to be saying, "Oh yeah, well, let's see how the second half goes."
True. But I think they would have learnt from last
But
year.
they put that on themselves too, right?
Yeah, they did. I think Walters didn't maybe learn. He would have learned a lot from it, and then maybe he'll know to rest them next time, not to play him after Origin like Bellamy does. Bellamy rests the whole team basically for the week, and that's what maybe he should have done to the Broncos.
And we already spoke about the obvious frustrations that we saw come out of the game. Appy and Kikau, big losses.
Massive losses.
Big losses.
They were losses. Yeah.
In terms of the Broncos, you know what? They're a good team. They're athletic. They're big.
Farms were stags.
They're strong.
The backline,
they're
everything.
fast. And when you've got what's his name pulling the string, Reynolds pulling all the strings.
He was great, wasn't he?
He doesn't have to run.
God.
You know what I mean? He just pulls all the strings, and he's got all these young, athletical young men. And when you throw grit in, okay, which is the magic dust, the grit.
Yeah.
Well, they're hard to beat. Now look, they only won by 1 point, and I'm going on about Penrith like, you know, the world's caving around them.
No, it's way too early for that.
But the issue here is that they've got a very high standard.
How they respond tomorrow night is going to be so important, so interesting. I can't wait.
So, in terms of Penrith, you know what, they could have won pretty easily in that game. What they usually do is, okay, they keep on bashing the front door, and what they do is they get you in, like I said before, the washing machine, the back and forward game, okay, and they break you down, okay. Well, for some unknown reason this year, they go wide early, or they try to play off the edges. I have no idea.
They're missing two very important cogs
I
of the world.
don't know. And the other thing is that with the hooker, with Kenny there, the two halves are not getting that extra half a second, and they're realising it. Can I say Liluwai was pretty ordinary, let's say, at best on Friday. I think his frustrations came out.
I think that's evident. And you know what? He created this issue around himself, so now he has to live with it.
What did I say before the year started? Who's your daddy?
Yeah.
Well, now when they're just a normal, good rugby league team, like he better be humble enough for someone to say it to him, because someone is going to say it to him soon. Okay.
Win three in a row, and then we'll see who your daddy is.
But I enjoyed the game. It was great, and like I said, it's round one.
George, you're not going to be happy about the next one.
Which one is it?
Sea Eagles 31, Bulldogs 6.
Yeah.
Wow.
This was what I saw. Really good from the Sea Eagles. It was great to see Turbo get through his first game. Just diabolical from the Dogs. George, I'll let you talk to it.
Oh, look, you all saw what happened. You know, some commentary says that the Dogs were in it until halftime. They were never in it. Physically, manly, and you know what? I'm big enough to take my words back. What's the professor's name?
Professor Seabold.
Professor Seabold, I am sorry. I got it wrong, okay? You are a fantastic coach. How you put these guys together in such a short space of time, okay? And you know how I know they're together? The physicality of the and the brutality of the tackling on against the Dogs was stunning. Thank you because I love watching hard rugby league. So they'll never in it, Nick.
But I've got to ask you, George, why was that missing? Now I know the Dogs, they lost their second trial game, but after the first trial game, we were talking about how we could see a difference about how Cameron Ciraldo's bringing the club together. Why was that missing from the Dogs on the weekend?
I don't know.
It's way too early to judge, right?
Early, yeah.
Super too early.
And I said,
but I'm just curious.
I still think
your opinion.
I still think they're going to have an improved season. And a lot of my friends alluded that they're going to make the 8 or be on the edge of the 8. And what did I say? There's no way in the world. If they get up to 12th, 13th, it's an improved season. Well, they're not good enough. It's simple as that. And Cameron Ciraldo's got a lot of coaching and a long time to do that. It's not only cattle. And yeah, they lost their 2 front rowers, and the issue is that Manly went straight for the front door. Okay, but that doesn't matter.
But that wasn't for me. That wasn't the concerning part.
Which was the concerning
It was
part?
the errors.
Okay, yeah.
Burton kicked out on the twice full. On the last tackle, he threw the ball to Kickout, who kicked it out on the full.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Addo Carr, he fell over and led to one try, and another one of his blunders almost led to another try right on half time.
okay, so that's
If it wasn't saved by the forward who got his finger on the ball.
Yeah, that's been under pressure, and I'm gonna hate to say this because I like the kid, but when you have no halfback controlling the game, everything crumbles around you.
And by the way, that was such a key moment in the game when Flanagan got sin bin for in my opinion, ridiculous decision.
Ridiculous.
For anyone who saw it, and I think they conceded 2 tries.
Yep.
While he was off the field,
one before and one after,
and that was the dagger in the heart, really.
Yeah. Look, I, that's probably what broke the camel's back, but I don't think it was the catalyst because I think from the whistle they were behind the 8 ball. The Manly forwards are just rolling through them, just rolling through them. What's that back row I like? The tall guy with the long hair.
For who?
For Manly. Sorry, for Manly.
Oh,
I can't
Carl
say his
Lawton.
name. No, the other guy, the kind of whatever. Anyway,
Olawakatu.
Sorry, guys, I forget his name.
That guy, the one with the long hair.
He was outstanding. He'll play Origin this year.
Yeah.
Nick, can I be honest? We're nowhere near the pace. The hype about the Bulldogs, don't believe it. Okay, don't believe it. It's a long way to come out of the bottom 8. It's a long way up.
Yeah.
It really
You're
is a
away
long
to the
way
Storm this weekend, so
up.
no one expects you to win, but you can earn. They can earn some respect.
Yes, and that's what it's about this year: earning some respect, grabbing some victories here and there, and just showing that there's something there. Because you know what, these players, Kikau and which look good in a Penrith system, we're not Penrith.
Yeah.
They need players around them to make them. You know what? Everybody's good at one thing. So you got to put players around them for the superstars to do that one thing.
Yeah.
So when you think that Kikau is going to get the ball in our red zone and get us out of trouble, okay. But guess what? He done that in Penrith, but he came off a Tahoe run. Okay. Or when he did it, okay, Lulai gave him the ball, okay, but right next to him there was a lead runner of someone else. So the defenders were in 2 minds. Guess what? There's no 2 minds here. Kikau's getting the ball, we're going to smash him. And he got smashed. Smashed. So, look, they're not good enough. Simple as that. They're not good enough, and they'll improve.
One highlight out of that, you've got Reed Marnie. He had a blinder.
He did.
He's going
was
to possibly signing of the by the year.
He's so good.
Yeah. He was so good.
He's so good.
And I never realised how good. I forgot about how good Turbo was. Like what a difference Manly are when Turbo's there.
Yeah. And he was injured.
He was injured, but they're just a different team. Attacking wise, he's just everywhere. Yeah. He's just a really good player.
You know what? You know what? It's not about Cherry Evans doing 3 tries. It was more about the 2 Turbos. Jake, my God.
Yeah.
How hard does he hit?
They were hitting really hard in defence, the Manly forward pack. Really hard. They went there with intent.
Yeah. So, and that's a mental thing. So again, back to the Nutty Professor. Good on you, man. You know how to you know how to put a team together. I was wrong.
Cowboys 19 over the Raiders 18. A tryless second half for the Cowboys. Raiders almost stormed home.
Yeah.
What happened there?
How dominant were the Cowboys in the first half? I think there was only like 4 tackles in their half. They were brilliant. And then second half, Canberra did well. They showed some resilience. They came back in the second half.
They got more ball.
Which was good. They got more ball.
Yeah.
Now, where the Cowboys dropped back a bit, but Drinkwater was fantastic again, which was good.
Take Drinky out of the team and they would have lost.
The Cowboys,
Drinkwater.
You know what? They are definitely going to be top 4 again. The Cowboys, I meant. Yeah.
Ricky had another spray in his press conference.
For sure, he would have had a spray.
Well, he was wrong.
But
he was wrong again.
Yeah.
He was wrong again about the spray. You know what? Cowboys, first half, showed me enough that they're going to be top 4 again. Yeah. And I've called them for the grand final, and I still believe that. Okay, they were outstanding. They dropped off in the second half. But you know what? Canberra, with all the ball that the Cowboys had, was so resilient. They went in at 12-0.
Yeah.
Okay, with all the ball that they had, they should have really put away Canberra. Okay, they got more ball in the second half, and there was a true, two halves.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? A game of two halves. So I enjoyed the game. It was great. I think Ricky's boys have got something there as well. And the best is yet to come for the Cowboys. And he's right. You're right. Drink water. And let me tell you, the Chad, my God. You know, he went there and no one even rated him, the Chad. You take the Chad away,
It's been
and they're not making the four. You take Chad away, they're not making the four.
Rabbitohs, 27 points to 18 away to the Sharks. Sharks obviously missing Nicko Hines.
Yeah, they missed Nicko Hines, but they
No,
did
they
well.
didn't. No, they didn't.
Oh, Trindle played well.
Trindle
Don't
played
get me wrong. He played really well.
And this is the feature game.
Dalian Player of the Year.
They're
not missing.
Oh yeah, of course they missed him. But all I'm saying is Trindle played outstanding well. And this game will be summarised by one word: Ilias.
Yeah.
Ilias. Yeah, I know. Look, actually, this week I've probably got a right to talk about him, and I promise Nicko I'm going to drop off Ilias and Mamazulis. But this week, well, it's there for all to see.
Yeah.
Now, how many NRL games has he got underneath his belt, Artie?
Yeah, he's got the full season under his belt, mate.
Well, he's got 30 games.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, could I deter off this game? Okay. Now, let me tell you what Hook has done. Let me tell you what Hook. No. Look, let me tell you what Hook has done. Okay. The boys, all those superstars in St George, youngsters, they've got 10, 12.
Oh, Amoni, he gave a full season.
How many has he got?
Played the whole season.
How many games has he got on his? Oh yeah, but he's a regular first grader now.
Yeah, excellent.
Okay, so the minute you don't play your youngsters, because Ilias last year, and I knew he was going to be good. Okay, he looked like possibly a first grade halfback, but see, I knew he was going to be good because he's a non-highlight player.
Yeah.
Okay, he's an effort player. Okay, and when you get 30, 40 games underneath your belt, okay, that you're comfortable in your skin, and you're a first grade player, and you can produce things that you've produced then. And what does that do? That opens up the right side attack. Now all of a sudden, you're not just worried about the left; you're worried about the right as well. And what the coach done? He's paired Murray up with Ilias. Okay, so what he used to do is he used to sit in the middle and swing left. Guess what? Now he just sits right with Ilias. So it gives him a bit of support. Okay, great game. Ilias got the Dalium 3, so he should. He apparently, I didn't see it, he did those things every week in the Reggies, apparently.
Yeah.
For a whole 2 years.
Yeah, special play. He played really well. He played good. Future Greek immortal.
Now the game, how good was it? Back and forward, back and forward. You know what? Cronulla dropped off in the second half, a little bit of intensity, but it was good. It was good. Everyone, I loved the fullback for Cronulla.
Will Kennedy, I've always rated him. He's fantastic.
Loved him.
So good.
Loved him.
So skillful.
My highlight was the early when Ilias saved that try. I think that put the game into some sort of flow. What did you guys think about the game?
What did you think of Wade Graham's hit?
I thought it was okay.
I'm
old school. I thought it was fine. There's nothing wrong with it. Get on with it. He's got 4 weeks for it.
Can I ask something though?
I love it, but hit the head.
No, but can I ask something?
Nothing wrong with it.
Did the referee call anything, or did the bunker call it? I think the bunker called it, eh?
Did he?
Because if it did, that's a brilliant piece of work by the bunker. If the referee missed that, that's ridiculous.
I disagree. I think they're destroying the game.
No, he should have got sent off. A sin bin. I agree with the sin bin. It was a bad hit. He lifted. He's off the ground, man.
Yeah. That's a great hit.
It was a great hit.
In 1980.
It was, but even in 1980, if you hit the head, you get sent off.
Yeah, true.
You hit the head.
It was
a great hit, but hit the head.
I've got a personal challenge for you two that I'm going to throw out. It's a personal challenge. There's 28 other players in the squad, and there's 3 other members of the coaching staff. I challenge you guys to talk about South without talking about Demetria, Ilias, or Mamazoulis.
Well, this week
just once.
This week we had a
Greek-free South contribution. Okay,
It was really
Ilias absolutely killed it this week. He was man of the match.
So we had
he was man of the match.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. He got 3 Dalian points.
Wonderful performance, and he's obviously got a bright future. And you've been saying that for a long time.
Yeah. Look, but the actual game, that was the highest quality game of the weekend, no doubt about it. Okay, if Nicko was in the team, it would have been even closer, and we would have had even more a roller coaster.
I thought it would have been closer if Wade stayed on the field as well. Last 10 minutes.
Yeah, but they replaced him, so you weren't in disadvantage.
No, he was sin binned.
Yeah, he sin binned. Oh, sorry. Yes, I apologise. He was sin binned. That 10 minutes. I guess would have made a difference, but that wasn't the catalyst that broke the back. But it was a great game, wasn't it? A great game. I thought it was fantastic.
Yeah.
I could pick out players, but we haven't got time.
So is that our? Would you guys agree that's our feature game and best game of the round?
I think so.
Yeah,
that was the highest quality game of the weekend. I thought anyway. It was the most entertaining.
Yeah, it was good. How would you feel being? I think Fitzy might have been a bit disappointed because he finished the year with high scoring, so the defence, he was really angry about the defence in the final series, and first game back they've leaked 28 points in the first game. So he'll be working on the defence again.
But it wasn't that type of 28 points.
It was a bit more hard work.
It was a red hot South fit too.
It was a gritty.
It was, yeah.
And you know what? The good thing about the right side working for South Sydney, it takes a lot of pressure off not only Latrell but Cody as well.
Exactly. Yeah.
It takes a lot of pressure off Cody because they shoot right a lot now. And you know Campbell, we're going to see his real wares.
Yeah,
the centre Campbell. So
he was great.
Yeah,
great.
Well, because they never used to go. They never used to go right.
Yeah.
Now they go right, so it's good. That's good. Let's move on.
The Dolphins and the Roosters. Yeah, we opened up with it.
Jeez.
Oh, look, that's
crazy.
Really disappointing for a Roosters fan. Don't want to take anything away from the Dolphins, but it was a very un-Rooster-like performance.
Yeah. That's how they started last year, though. They had a really disappointing start.
Yeah.
I know they were missing some key players. They were missing Manu, who's a big loss. That back rower they had, the guy with the long hair, sort of...
They've lost Lodge now for an extended period as well.
He was pretty ordinary, actually.
What about the hit Kafusi put on Brandon Smith?
Yes.
Beautiful.
And that was
they stood up, didn't they, the forwards from the Dolphins. Typical Bennett coach team where he really emphasises on his forwards. I think when he buys a team, he makes sure he buys some real hard-edged forwards, when he gets his team. That's what he did at the Dragons when we won 2010. He went and bought Jeremy Smith, Costigan and all those guys, and he's done the same with the Dolphins. So it was a typical Bennett-style win.
The hit was the catalyst for the turnaround, Nicola. But like I said before, simple game plan.
Yeah,
just go
Just
go straight for the middle. Jeremy Marshall-King
was great. He was fantastic.
Why?
He's a good player. We were talking about this last year. Why the Bulldogs let him go? He would have been such a valuable utility player at the Dogs.
I think so. And you know what?
This season
he could go to so many other teams. I mean, Penrith would have needed him at the moment. He would have slotted in nicely. But he got man of the match, I think.
Yeah,
he got man of the match. So he should have.
What about Bennett's big call? He dropped Milford and brought up Katoa.
Yes.
He did okay, didn't he? Katoa looked pretty good.
Look, he's still a young
First
man.
game, a young man.
Still a young man.
Big occasion. It was like a final for him, man. Playing a full house first game.
By the second half, we started seeing his wares. If he perseveres with him,
for sure.
By the end of the year, he'll become a first grader.
Yeah. Worth mentioning as well, I think it was 32,000, 33,000.
Yes.
And that's the good part of this whole thing.
Yeah.
The game was fantastic. The Dolphins winning the first game was great, Nicola. I'll just touch on the Roosters. They were pretty disappointing.
Yeah,
it's only the first game. I'm not going to get into names and this and that. But the highlight of this game was the 32,000 people in the stand, and this week it's sold out. The Dolphins game is sold out.
Wow.
So that's the.
Speaking of disappointing. Sold out Leichhardt Oval on a sunny Sunday afternoon. Going down to the Gold Coast Titans, 22 points to 10. Everybody expected more from the Tigers.
Well, I'm still baffled. You know how everyone's wondering why Warren Ryan took off Sirinen and Blocker
in '89.
Well, we've got a new one now. Another mystery for the West Tigers. Why didn't he start with Epi Korisai? No, he was their big season purchase. They made him captain. They got the best hooker in the game.
He also brought him off early as well.
And then and I just don't understand why they didn't start him because West Tigers started really, really good, high pressure, and always camped in the Titans' half. And with Korisai, they would have converted it to points, but they didn't. And then the Titans scored a try against the run of play because it was. Titans had nothing, right? And I think it killed him in the end. They should have started with Korisai. It's just a crazy move. I don't understand.
I don't know what would have happened if Korisai started. All I know is, and I'm not a coach. The coaching staff there with Benji and the guys they're better than me. But for me, when he came on, he changed the game.
He changed everything.
Did you see the Tigers coaching box?
Yeah, they're stacked.
You couldn't fit another person in there with a shoehorn.
They're stacked.
How many people were in there?
5, 6. But you know what? I think Tim Sheen's got it wrong. Tim, do you like winning? If you like winning, play Korisai because he's missed at Penrith, and he's going to. He's the one. Not Bateman, not Clemmer, not Dewey. He's the one. He's the one who starts everything. Play him from the start. Don't take him off. 80 minutes. Leave him on. Okay? Leave Korisai on. He's the secret. He's the secret sauce, my friend. Just do it. Leave him on. Because when he came on, he changed everything.
He changed everything. Yeah.
How he can work over a ruck. How he knows when to run, when not to run, when to dish.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a skill.
Yeah.
It's a skill. And guess what? You know why I know it's a skill? Because maybe one hooker in the comp does it.
Yeah.
Well, they're back at Leichhardt this Sunday afternoon again against Newcastle, so they'll have a chance to respond. And be interesting to see how Tim Sheens uses Appy.
Exactly. And let's talk about the Titans too. They played.
Yeah,
they did okay.
Good.
They
were good.
AJ Brimson was really good.
How good is he? How good is he? And you know what? You know when they're good or when they have a good off season. Foz got injured, got taken off. Okay, did Brimson go to 6?
He did. Yeah.
Brimson went to 6, and then they continued playing rugby.
What about my main man?
Tino.
Big Tino.
Oh, how good is he?
Big Tino.
Oh, he just keeps on powering on.
My mate Dino hates him.
Why?
He just doesn't like him.
He's the best.
Dino, be listening to this. Dino doesn't like him, but yeah, I got a man crush on Tino. I would love to have him in a blue and gold jersey.
Yeah, no. Tino was outstanding. The whole pack was outstanding. I can't see what you see in the halfback. What's his name?
Sorry?
The Titans halfback.
For the Gold Coast.
Oh, Tanner Boyd.
I don't know what you see in him.
Oh, look, I see him better than Sexton. I don't see him as like a superstar or anything, but I just think he's more hard edged.
Well, you know what? You know what I see? I see Sexton, a genuine number 7, and I see what's his name?
Tanner Boyd as a 9.
Yeah,
because that's I think where he started.
Really?
I think he's a 9 and 7. So
a back rower. Yeah. The only thing is he has got a connection, I believe, with Fafita, but you don't need that connection because you got Foz.
Yeah.
Okay. Now Foz has completely changed. One person has completely changed that team. How good was Shop?
Yeah.
Well,
he was okay at Bulldogs.
He was very good at.
Apparently, out for a month now.
Yeah, it's a shame. It's a shame. It's a shame. It's a big blow. It's a big blow. See how they go this week. And apparently, Gus got rid of him. Okay. Yeah. Because he was too big for his boots. Apparently.
Okay. And he was a Dragons junior.
Was he a Dragons junior?
Yeah.
He's not a Bulldogs junior.
And then he went to Bulldogs. I think
another one lost, brother. Another one lost.
Yeah. Can we all agree there was no bludger of the round?
No
week?
bludger.
I thought all the games were a good watch.
No bludger.
Well, look, the only thing I had is if Dragons played the bye, that would have been the bludger of the game. But Dragons didn't play.
Dragons were leading the comp.
They were. I was hoping for a draw so they can make the 8 by having two teams on 1 point, but it didn't happen.
Who stood out this round? For me, it's Cameron Munster.
Yeah,
Cameron Munster. On what he did.
I'm not being biased here, but for me, it was Lachlan Elias, the future Greek immortal. I thought he had an absolutely barnstorming game against a good side.
The whole round, the quality of rugby league that we watched that we witnessed on the weekend, Nicola, for round one, that's what stood out for me. I went to the Thursday game and I went away thinking, because I thought it was going to be a bludger. Even if it's two good teams, I thought, timing, this and that, because really the trial matches were borderline bludgers.
Yeah.
Okay. But the whole round from Thursday to Sunday night, every game was pretty good.
Who gets the John Creese spray around this week?
Tim Sheens for me. Tim Sheens. But
yes.
He's probably got reasons for not starting Appy, but for me...
I love that.
Imagine seeing Bellamy spraying Sheens. That would be so funny.
I was at the ground. They panned up to the box. He's spraying. No, he just spraying. John Chris was just spraying there. Just I don't know. He was just screaming at somebody. I don't know who was screaming at.
Yeah.
My John Chris spray. Okay. Unfortunately, Nicola, I was at not unfortunately. I was with Dad on Sunday afternoon.
Yeah.
And we started watching the Channel 9 coverage. That's the unfortunate part because I never watched the Channel 9 coverage.
Yeah.
And I had this gripe last year, and he knows what I'm going to say. International or immortals sometimes don't make good commentators.
I really can't handle watching certain people on Channel 9 because they just sound like a couple of idiots, to be honest.
Well, you know what I hate the most? This is what I hate the most. When they talk like we have no idea, or they're humbling us. We have no idea about rugby league, and you know what? The majority of us know enough of the basics to understand rugby league. They talk down to us.
Yeah,
I honestly believe that.
Yep.
Now that's not them. Obviously, that's Channel 9 telling them what to say and how to say it.
No, I wouldn't be so sure.
Well, okay. Well, I don't know about that because you go to you go to Foxtel, you go to 502, and all the commentators are spot on.
Yeah,
they're talking the truth. They've got
a really good commentary team.
They've got really good, and that's what I want to give. That's who I want to give a spray to this week.
Well, I'm going to give mine to the human headline, Jerome Luluai. If you got something to say to your teammate, don't do it in front of 300,000 people. Do it in the change rooms.
Yeah,
common sense.
Yeah.
Moving on to round 2, which starts tomorrow night. A quick preview and tips of who we think is going to get the chocolates.
Sure.
What a way to open the round tomorrow night.
Oh,
Panthers hosting the Rabbitohs.
I can't wait.
Yeah,
Panthers really have a point to prove in this game. They really do.
They do.
And the Rabbitohs are flying high. I don't one game, but
no, they're flying high.
They're flying high.
Yeah.
Also worth mentioning with the Rabbitohs, they're probably the most settled team.
Yes.
Coming into the start of the season. No off-season buys. The squad is the same.
Yeah.
And injury-free, predominantly injury-free.
Yeah.
So, I think it sets up for a cracker of a game tomorrow night.
This is how important I feel it is, because I believe that Penrith has had the wood over Souths, and I think this year Souths have got it in their brain, or they're off season. They've done some talking, and they've come to terms that they believe that they can win the comp, and this is a game to sort of set the tone of the year mentally. One team believing that they can win.
Well, I've tipped the Rabbitohs.
Yeah,
I've gone with the Rabbitohs.
And now we've got the scenario with Penrith that they want to get their mojo back. You know, if Souths beat Penrith again, Penrith's going to do some soul searching.
Latrell's in. Coach Demetrio confirmed that he's in.
Latrell's in, yeah. Latrell's in. So it's going to be a cracker. I can't wait. I'd like to see Luluai stand up and put his money where his mouth is. And I want the Penrith forwards to go forward, not this lateral passing rubbish that they're doing. I want them to go through the front door. And if both teams go through the front door, I can't wait.
Yeah. If Penrith lose this game, that's 3 home losses in a row. St Helens, Broncos.
3 full houses too.
Exactly. And that's unheard of, mate, in the last few years anyway, that's for sure.
Well, imagine they think they're invincible. And they probably still think they're invincible, but if they lose again...
No, they've got some nerves going into tomorrow night.
Tough.
like what Arthur said last week, they're coming out with a point to prove tomorrow. They really are.
Yeah, they will, mate.
They are.
And if they don't, that heat, that spotlight can turn into an interrogation like real quick.
Yeah.
I agree.
But I'm going with South.
Bunnies for me too.
I'm going to go Penrith.
Penrith
I
at
just
home.
don't think they can
They'll
lose
bounce
3 in a
back.
row.
Yeah.
They can't lose 3 in a row.
It's hard to see, isn't it?
Yeah.
In this day and age.
Yeah.
Opening Friday night, Paramatta hosting the Sharks. Sharks still don't have Nicko Hines, and now they don't have Wade Graham either. Paramatta obviously still without a couple of players as well. How do you see this one going?
I like
This is a
Sharks.
tough one.
I like the Sharks in terms of last week and the quality of game, what they've both produced, and yeah, Nicko's missing, but the minute you have Trindle, you're not losing that much. I'm going to go Cronulla, but can you give us some stats on this, Adi? What have we got? What are we looking at?
The 3 of the past 6 games have been decided by exactly 2 points. So they're
Really?
always tight encounters. And Paris won 32 or 44 games overall at Combank. So they've got a very good record
I
there.
think Paris won 7 out of the last 10 against Cronulla as
So
well.
their record's good. Let's have a look. The lineups are similar to last year. I don't think there's anyone coming back into the Parramatta side.
No.
So they're still good.
The youngster, Sean Russell's been named on the wing, and Lumi's dropped out.
Yeah. Mitchell Moses plays his 200th game NRL match.
It's a big occasion
Junior Paulo's 150th.
Yeah,
as well.
Yeah.
A couple of big milestones there,
yeah.
for sure. Look at the Cronulla team, eh? They're still sort of
They're stacked.
except for
They're
Hines. I was impressed with them last week, even though they lost to the Bunnies. This is a toss of a coin. This is a very tight game for me.
I hate to say
I'm
this.
going to Sharks
I'm going
because
Sharks, yeah.
I just didn't see enough from Parramatta last week. I need to see more.
Mate, I'm going to go with Parramatta, so there you go.
He's
I'm going
against
opposite
us.
to you guys.
Going
There
the
you
home
go.
teams.
Yeah.
No, give me Sharks.
Later that night, another cracker. The Broncos hosting the Cowboys.
The Broncos and the Cowboys.
That's going to be
My
a
God,
cracker.
Father.
That is
I'm
going
going
to.
to go the Cowboys.
You know what? These games tend to be won by either field goals or last minute tries. I really like the Cowboys.
Yeah.
I really like that team. The best is yet to come. Don't worry about this year. The best is yet to come with this team.
Yeah.
One thing I wanted to mention as well, first time we've got all 4 Queensland teams in the top 8. I wonder,
Yes.
we're not going to see that very often, I
No.
don't think. All
No.
4, which is a great effort. I was very, very impressed with the Broncos.
Of course
last
you
week.
were.
North Queensland scared me a bit in the second half because allowing Canberra to come back in. It's going to be a tight affair. I'm leaning towards the Broncos.
What stats you got for us, Artie? What
Well, they'll aim to win 3 straight over the Broncos for the first time since 2012.
There you
which is
go.
good.
The Cowboys.
And 3rd time overall. So, and the Cowboys will aim to win 3 straight games at Suncorp Stadium for just the 2nd time. So,
Really?
yeah, a couple of tough ones there. What are you, Nicko? Who you reckon?
I'm going to go the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think they'll be too strong.
Drinky will have a whale of a game, and tell them why.
Reece Walsh is back. Reece Walsh
Is he?
Yeah, he's playing for the Broncos. So
Okay.
that's a pretty good.
Tell him why Drinky's going to have a whale of a game.
Scott Drinkwater scored a double in the opening round and can become the first Cowboys to score multiple tries in the first 2 games of a season. So there
I
you
reckon
go.
Drinky will score 2 tries tomorrow
He
night.
was fantastic, actually. He was
He's a
close
good
to
Good player. Good player.
Minority Player of the Year. So
Very close.
match, so
Very
yeah,
close.
Opening up Super Saturday, I'm tipping the Roosters to come back in barnstorming fashion over the Warriors.
Yeah.
Where they're playing?
At home.
Where?
Allianz.
Yeah, I can't see anything
In the city,
but Eels Easts win. But we said that last week, didn't we, against the Dolphins, and it didn't happen. What's his name? My man's back, Manu.
Yeah.
He's going to make a massive difference. That guy usually puts a spark back into the attack. I'm definitely tipping the Roosters there.
I think the Warriors are a shot.
Yeah.
shot.
They'll give them a good game. Their defense was really amazing, but it is a tougher team this week to last week. So
Look, I'm going to go by default by to
the Chooks.
the Chooks, but let me tell you, the Warriors are going to give them a run for their money.
Mm.
I liked what I saw last week.
Yeah.
I don't know if he can stand up to the top 4 teams or the top 6 teams, but I like what I saw.
Mm.
Can the Dolphins make it back to back over a Raiders side who's been winless this season?
Yeah, no,
They've lost every game they've played.
Yeah, even the trials. Yeah, no, they can't.
In Brisbane, another big crowd at Suncorp.
Yeah, full house apparently.
Was Jordan Rapana was suspended, wasn't he?
Yes.
Yeah.
Who's in now?
He's out, so we've got Hopewati. We've got Sebastian Chris, Kotrick, Tamuko. It looks like Albert Hopewati, maybe his name is. Yeah, he's playing on the wing.
Okay.
What do you got for me, Adi? What stats we got?
After last week's shock 28-18 win over the Roosters, Wayne Bennett has now won 4 of his 6 first-up games at a new club. Raiders, Broncos, Rabbitohs and Dolphins. Wow, how good's that, eh? The last new club to enter the competition and win their opening 2 matches was Melbourne, who went on to win its opening 4. So that's interesting stats there. But, yeah, can't see anything but a Raiders victory, but it will be tight.
Yeah, no,
I've tipped the Raiders.
Raiders will win, and because I think
they'll smash the fairy tale this
weekend. I don't think they're going to capitulate in the middle. But hey, Bennett, Wayne Bennett factor. Who knows?
Oh. Look, no Cameron Munster, but a tough assignment for the Bulldogs going down to Melbourne on Saturday night.
Impossible.
I've tipped the Storm
impossible.
For obvious reasons.
Impossible.
What do you want to see, George, as a fan? What do you want to see from the Dogs?
I want to see the forwards take it up to the Melbourne forwards.
Just some fight.
Yeah. I want to see I don't want to see what I saw last week. I mean, from the first tackle, they were rolled over, and I knew we were going to lose. I wasn't sure how much, but I knew we were going to lose. I just want to see some fight. I want to see the forwards just go as hard as they can and match it in the middle. If they match it in the middle and then we lose, well, we lose.
Yeah, you just want to see the effort.
Yeah, but look, I think Melbourne will win and win well.
I'm tipping Melbourne. It's hard to really, Arthur.
Munster's a huge loss. They're a different team without him.
Who plays 6 for Melbourne this week?
Wishart. And he came on against the Para game.
Yeah,
he made a couple of errors. So that's what's got me thinking maybe this might be the upset of the round and have a Bulldogs victory. It will be tight. I think it'll be a lot closer than people think. I might go the Storm, to be honest, just because of their forwards. I think
if you had money on it, who would you bet?
Yeah, I might just as a safe bet go Melbourne, but not confident. But Melbourne's also got a good record against them. They've restricted Canterbury to under 20 points in each of the past 8 games, and they've scored 40 in those. It's just they're just smashing. They've got some really good records there.
Can the Tigers win some fans back at Leichhardt Oval on Sunday afternoon against the Newcastle Knights? I've tipped the Tigers.
Have you?
Yeah.
This game is probably going to be the story of the weekend, and why? Because we're all waiting to see the Tigers. I don't even know if we've seen them waiting for them to play good. We want them to win, okay? And then we got the other side. They need to win.
A desperation.
Yeah,
they're desperate. And like I said,
Jackson Hastings will have a big point to prove against the club that pushed him out.
No doubt. No doubt.
Right? Forget about what they're saying in the media.
I forget that.
Yeah.
He generally got pushed out. And he's going to want to have a whale of a game. But I'm telling you now, what our favourite hairdresser said.
Josephina.
Yep.
The club is confidence, and we're talking Newcastle now. He's on a brink, and they've got to win. I'm still tipping the Tigers.
Yeah, I am.
I'm tipping the Tigers, but we need the force to go forward. The 2 twins, what are they called? Safidi boys.
Brothers.
They've got to pull their fingers out and go forward. I think they've lost the ex-Canterbury back rower too, haven't they?
Elliot,
is he in?
Yeah, he's not in. He's not listed, mate. Yeah.
Elliot's out, and is the lock there as well? The ex-St George lock.
Yeah, Kurt Mann.
No.
Frizzell.
Frizzell, is he there?
Fitzgibbon's
Frizzell's
there.
Fitzgibbon there. Okay.
So they've got the bulk of the team.
So the pack's good enough to hold the Tigers back. They've got to win. Newcastle's got to win. They need time to blend in. I don't think they will, but I don't think they will.
Okay, well...
Oh, wow. This is a tough one, man.
Yeah, and I'm going the Tigers.
I don't trust the Tigers after last week, to be honest. The only thing that's got me thinking they will is because it's at Leichhardt, and they haven't lost 3 straight at Leichhardt since 2016-17. And the Knights will be aiming for 3 straight wins for the 3rd time against the West Tigers since 2015-16. That's not too far away, so I don't know why that's a key insight.
Because there's nothing else. They're always losing.
Yeah, true. And Nofaluma needs 1 try to bring up 100 for his career.
That's pretty good for a
It is
team,
pretty good for a team that's
like
been
that,
struggling
sure.
for his 100 games.
So
I'll give him one more chance. Last roll of the dice. Go
Alright.
Tigers. Please don't pull any surprises for us, Tim Sheens, and start bloody Coruscant on the bench.
Appy's starting.
He's yeah, he was listed last week as
Was he?
starting. So
With all the hoopla, he has to, doesn't
he's
he?
got to, you'd think.
Arthur, I'm
He
going
must
to
have
turn
good
to
reason.
you for the double header that's closing out the round. Let's start with the first one. The long-awaited debut of the Dragons this year,
Wow.
hosting the Gold Coast Titans.
They made us wait a whole week.
I'm tipping the Dragons.
They made us wait a whole week. They gave us the bye in the first round, so they made us wait, and then they put us the last game of the season of the second round. So
Yeah.
they really, really want to put us through pain.
I'm tipping the Dragons. Big start.
I'm tipping. To be honest, mate, I'm tipping the Titans.
Yeah. Consolation tip.
No,
You don't mind if you lose it.
It's not that. I just think they're a better team. The way they're better drilled. They got the 1 game under the belt now. They got rid of the rust, whereas for St George it's their first game, so they're going to be very clunky.
That's true.
And that teams.
And they got rid of the rust at Leichhardt Oval.
That's right, yeah. And I think I'm also not trusting Hook. I've got a bad feeling if he starts with this lineup, I'm confident St George can win, but I just got a feeling he's going to surprise us. Maybe put Amoni on and drop and put Sullivan to the bench. I don't know. So that's what I'm worried about. But yeah, I like the Gold Coast pack to be honest, much better. Our forwards are Francis Molo and Laurie against Big Tino and Jolliffe. So I don't know. I'm going Titans, man. I'd love Dragons to win, but I just think the Titans are better than people think.
Gold Coast will win. I want Gold Coast to win, and I don't want St George to win for the next 6 weeks, so we can. No.
Won't do nothing.
No. So we can finish this thing.
Nah.
Get a decent.
But who do you think will win?
The Gold Coast will win.
Gold Coast?
I think Gold Coast.
I'm the only one tipping the Dragons.
You're
I'm going the Dragons, yeah.
It's at Cogra Jubilee, isn't it?
It's at Cogra, yeah, but they've beaten us there before, man. So
Well, Arthur, I did say it was a double header. So the next game after that, Liverpool hosting Manchester United. What's your prediction for this one?
they already played them.
Yeah, I was being funny. I'm giving you a chance to put it out there.
Now that you mentioned it, mate. Yeah, Manchester United. That was a great game, huh? That was close.
7-0.
7-0. Fantastic.
It actually was close until the 44th minute.
Yeah.
They scored pretty much all the goals in one half
did.
of soccer, yeah.
It was unbelievable. It was, to be honest, I usually wake up and watch all the games, but that one there, I thought it was going to be an absolute bludger, and I was just hoping Liverpool at least get a 0-0 draw. And when I got up, I thought, I'm just going to watch the quick match, the 20-minute. And then as I'm watching the goals, I'm going, what's happening here?
What? Yeah.
1, 2, 3. It can't be. And
Had to give you the opportunity
mate,
to enjoy that one, mate.
It was my highlight of the week. I'm still buzzing from that game because...
and for those of you listening, make sure you tune in to TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, and see Artie proudly wearing his Liverpool jersey.
That's it, mate, yeah.
Side note is Napoli still 15 points ahead.
Oh, Napoli's on fire.
Dropped the second game of the season, lost on the weekend, so it's going to be a photo finish in the Italian league. We're 15 points ahead now. So
how long to go?
Still 14 games.
Okay. Yeah, they should.
It ain't over till it's over, but we'll see.
I wouldn't be surprised if they do the double because they've been on fire in the Champions League as well. So
too early to talk about it,
mate. You never know.
Can we?
If you know Neapolitans, you know we're very superstitious.
Oh, really?
It's too early to talk about it. George, what were you going to say?
Just a side note. In Super League, Nicko, the world champions have fallen.
Who'd they lose to?
Yep,
St. Helens?
No, yes, St. Helens
Who'd they lose
has
to,
fallen.
yeah?
They played the grand final replay against Leeds. They got off to a good start, 22 to 4 or something, and Leeds come storming back and beat them 25-24.
Wow.
Did they put Viduka and Kuhl on in the second
Viduka and
half?
Kuhl. Actually, Leeds have got some household Australian players, household names, which I can't remember at the moment. But they're fallen. It was a great atmosphere. And let me tell you, because I've got a lot of heat saying that St. Helens wouldn't make the 8.
What?
Well, that's what I think. In NRL.
Oh, in the NRL. Yeah, fair enough.
Now, we've just witnessed round 1 here. Okay, if you all go back to YouTube, wherever you consume your rugby league, and watch that game, if you could honestly tell me that either of those two teams can make the semi-finals in the NRL once the top 4 teams put them in through a washing machine or put them into a grind, you're a better judge than me.
You're saying they can't.
No chance. Once you, they can do it 1 off. They can do it 2 off.
Yeah.
But week in, week out, so next week, St. Helens will go to Lee and win by 50.
Yeah.
Then the other week they go to Salford and win by 20. Then they might play another good team. They might play La Catalans and win by 12. And they'll play Leeds again and be a hard game.
They might have been jet lagged this week, mate. That's why they lost.
That's 2 weeks into it.
Yeah, you never know, mate. It
2
takes
weeks
a while,
into it.
man.
Okay,
But they're fallen. The world champions are fallen.
The last segment of the evening, and it goes back to the same old. Chop it or drop it.
Oh.
The HIA rule.
HIA.
HIA.
Yeah, the independent doctor. Some people blowing up saying it shouldn't happen. You know what? Phil Gould was saying some stuff on 100% footy. He doesn't think it should be in the hands of an independent doctor. But then listening to Luke Keary, and there was another player that actually mentioned it, they're actually grateful that there is an independent doctor.
But Phil Gould said it because Jacob Carraz got taken off.
Yeah, I know, but still.
There were 8 people taken off over the weekend who didn't come back on.
Yeah.
Would he have said it if it didn't happen to the Bulldogs? Phil Gould's being Phil Gould, right?
Yeah, true. But hearing it from the players saying that they appreciate that they've got the independent doctor and they're looking after their welfare, mate, that's enough for me to say that it should stay and they're doing the right thing.
Yeah, I don't like it, but I don't know any better way to do it. So
Yes, exactly.
I think the way they're doing it, better to be on the safe side. You're on the side of caution.
Yeah, exactly.
George?
Okay. The new HIA rules with a doctor, independent doctor. Ricky Stewart, you're wrong. Gus Gould, you're wrong. Do I trust coaches? No.
No.
Do I trust the players? No.
No way.
Guess what? Because if you're off of HIA, guess what? You're not playing next week. So I don't trust you guys. There should be a guy, a doctor in the video room. It could be in Mars. I don't care. And there should be another independent doctor on the ground, okay, adjudicating the actual HIA. You know what? He might not be bad. He might be able to go back on, okay? But do I trust the coaches? Ricky, I'm sorry. No, I don't trust coaches. Do I trust the players? No, I don't trust the players. So that's what I think about the new HIA rule.
I just don't know a better way to do it.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what? There is no better way. Unfortunately, moving forward and this duty of care for players, okay, we've got no choice, okay, because litigation will come.
It's around the corner, isn't it?
Well, it's come in England, in the rugby union, hence tackling underneath the waist, okay, and I don't want that to happen.
Like I said, we've got lawyers going to the judiciary. How long do you think it's going to be before they start turning up for this?
Can I just say something? Before we came into the room, we watched 360, and we had Paul Kent talking about tackling around the waist, okay, and how we can make these tackles effective. Paul Kent, you have no idea what you're talking about. The minute you get tackled around the waist, then all of a sudden there's second phase play coming. The other thing is that you're losing the ground because someone will just bounce back up and play the ball. Okay, can't happen, won't happen. Or let's play tag.
But George, that's the problem when you have three parts of a 4-man panel who haven't played the game.
Absolutely. You know what? Sometimes I agree with them, but sometimes they get me so angry.
When they start talking about tackle technique and if you slow it down here and you can see that, seriously, that you've never done anything, you know. I listen to Braithen Astor when he talks. Let's get some more ex-players on the panel.
No, Braith's got an idea because
those guys are starting to get on my nerves.
That conversation, Braith didn't enter. But you can't do it. It can't be done because you will lose the ruck every time. He wanted a tackle above the waist to be illegal, but you straight away lose the tackle. You'll lose the ground. Or if you're tackling around the waist, I'm popping.
I mean,
when you're hitting, I'm popping. So the rugby league will be structured differently. Someone will be right off on my hip, okay, 2 feet away from me, flat. So you're hitting me and I'm popping straight away. It can't happen.
Jokes aside, it's easy for him to say. Have either of you guys ever actually seen Paul Kent in person?
No.
He's 3 feet tall when he jumps.
Yeah, he's short. Yeah, okay.
He's very short. Yeah. And he's got a very credible rugby league history. You're aware of that, right?
Yeah, he played
one first grade game.
Did he play first grade? At least
Paramatta,
he played first grade.
One game.
At least he played first grade.
Under Mick Cronin, and then he was dropped.
Was he?
And I think he's still dirty on the crow for that.
I'm sure he is. But at least he's done more than us because he's gone through all the rigmarole of reserve grade and all the rest. But honestly, you heard me screaming. You're in the room. I couldn't believe what he was saying. It doesn't happen. And I've seen the rugby tackling below the waist. But you know what? You ruck and maul there. So the minute someone hits you, okay, there's all these people falling on you.
Yeah.
So it sort of doesn't and sort of does work, but rugby league, it's not going to work because it's all about the ground and the speed of the play and second phase, and it can't be done. Or unless someone smarter finds better rules or better ways of doing it, I don't know. And guess what? The coaches, you give them an inch and they'll take a yard. They'll find something.
Oh, yeah. Of course.
They'll find something. That's their jobs, but that's why they get paid.
Yeah. Well, their livelihood is on the line.
Yeah.
Right?
Look at Paul Hook. You know what I mean? I'm screaming for his sack, and he hasn't played a game this year. He hasn't. The poor team hasn't run on the field, and I'm asking for his head already. Poor guy.
Boys, the red light on the wall's flashing, and the limousine's waiting out the front.
Oh no!
I think that does it for us.
Yep.
No.
For another week.
That's it.
Any last words?
I can't wait for tomorrow. I want to see what Penrith shows us.
That's going to be a
Sorry,
doozy.
was it tomorrow? Yeah,
it's tomorrow night.
Because you know what? I'm torn between two lovers. You know how much I love the Penrith and the Penrith system, but I'm starting to understand and the South Sydney system, and I hate.
For George, watching Nathan Cleary play against Ilias is like watching two friends fight each other.
Actually, I don't. I'm off Nathan Cleary unless he shows me something in Origin. I've got my view on Nathan. Anyway, yeah. Look, I can't wait. They'll tell us a whole brand new story. Can't wait.
I'm looking forward to seeing Jaden Sullivan, mate. I want to see how he goes on his first game at the Dragons in the number 6. Oh, not his first game, but at number 6 if he plays, man.
Yes.
And also the Brisbane and Cowboys game. That's gonna be a cracker.
That's going to be a cracker. That's going to be a field goal. I'm telling you now.
Yeah.
That's how they usually are. Field goal, the last minute try, or it's going to be a doozy. Or one team will be losing by 15 and is going to come storming back.
Yep.
Every year something like that happens. So I can't wait. And let me tell you, if the quality of rugby league equals last week, we're in for some treats. Well,
that wraps it up. Boys, thanks again for another great night. Thanks, listeners and viewers. And remember to send your questions to quickhandsrugbyleague@gmail.com.
Yeah.
Listen to us on Spotify, Apple, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts. You know the rest of them. I don't have to go through them. You can watch us on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. What am I leaving out?
I don't know, man.
I don't know.
Just anything that ends with Graham or Book. Just look it up.
God.
The superstar's right over here wearing the Liverpool jersey.
Right over here, the
Get
superstar.
Nah.
And we look forward to another great weekend of footy.
Can't wait.
And we'll see you all next week.
Happy rugby league,
Happy
everybody.
Rugby League.
See you later.
See ya.